Well, it's a lovely afternoon, everybody. I'm just sitting here in the sunlight. I'm stitching up the blanket that I've been busily knitting. It's not finished yet. I'm just stitching the pieces as I go. And behind the sofa there, in a little bed, is Jack. He might just come round now that I've said his name. Ah, there he comes. So we brought his bed into the sitting room now for the winter, because some days are warm, some days are cold, so it's getting towards that colder time of the year. I leave the bedroom door open because I leave all the doors in the cottage open. The study over there doesn't actually have a door, just as a curtain, because in these old cottages, these old stone cottages, you need to have the air circulating all the time. So I've been out to the garden centre this morning. I took you-know-who for you-know-what down at Lock Key, and on the way back from Lock Key then I went to the garden centre. I have a bird table. I thought it's going to be some time before I have another cat. And losing both my darlings in 1 year has knocked me back a little bit. Although my children say, look, Mum, one will turn up and that will be that. And no doubt that's how it'll go. But in the meantime anyway, I thought, look, it's coming into the winter, so this is as good a time as any to set up as many bird feeding stations as possible. You know, I've always had the little bird feeders hanging from the trees, both out the back and round the side and out the front. Well, I've increased those, and I got a few donations, and I thought no better time than to get a little bird table and get that set up. So that's what I've done. So I'll show you my little blanket that I've done so far. So just spread it out a little bit so you can see. I'm stitching this bit here on, so there we go. That's it so far, and continuing to knit away there. Oh, it's 1:45, that's the time. So I got this little present from someone quite close to me. It's a little white cat, and then a little sun. Can you see it? See that? Little sun. And this is a little moon. So they're hanging up there, just in my bedroom window, just above the fairy. Ah, hang on. The reason why his bed is behind the sofa is, number one, I keep the bedroom door open at night and he likes to be able to see where I am. But also, for the better part of the day, he's getting a lot of sunlight just sat there, which he really likes. He likes to sit in the sunlight. Yeah, Jack does. And then he has his food and his water bowl there as well. So, Jack, go through to the kitchen. I've been drying clothes there, I need to fold them up. And the kettle's on the hob that's boiling. And just through here, through the window, it's a little bird table. Now I've stuck a branch through it so the birds can land safely. And I've also put another bird feeder out there. You just see it hanging from the tree. Let's see the birds on it. They're a great consolation. It's been a consolation to me just to look out the window and just to see them, just to see the life. And I think it's important as well, you know, at this time of the year when there's so little forage and habitat out there for the birds. We've denuded the world of so much of the habitat that the birds need. We've taken so much and given back so little. In fact, we've hardly given back at all. There's a magpie there. I've also scattered lots of oats in little sort of mounds along the driveway and by the rustic beds and out the back, because I was cleaning out the pantry. I've been on a huge clean up because work is very healing. And I've also been clearing out the barn and getting a lot of wood cut. I'll take you out there now and show you that too. Make a cup of tea when I come back in. Yeah. So, come on, Jack. So you can see the little mounds of white. That's the oats. Hither and thither. There's little robins come down, look, to eat. Just in front of me. He's got quite a lot of courage, the little robin, because he doesn't get scared off easily. He's a fierce little fighter as well. So, into the barn. When my friend Simon was here visiting from France, he harvested a lot of wood down in the woodland there. And it's all coppiced. It's all coppiced willow and other bits of coppice trees. And so it's up to me now just to log them, and this is what I'm doing. You can see I have a little electric jigsaw. So it's very simple, and it's actually quite safe because I'm not someone for chainsaws, and I don't like the noise and I don't like the potential danger either. So I've been cutting all these up, and I'm going to just put them over there in that corner. So I've got a lot more things just to tidy up and clear out. And then you can also see here where I make little kindling bundles. And this is the little bits of willow, let me just take one of them out. See, this is the little skin of the willow, the bark of the willow, that doesn't shred. So that comes out of the shredder over there and comes out in just long strips. And it dries so quickly, and it's incredible kindling. So that's my little kindling. I make up a few bundles of that when I need them. This was the bottom half of an old wardrobe, which I now use as a saw bench or a cutting bench. So that's that. Just walk round the front. Quite windy today. It's actually quite cool as well. So I've been doing a bit of pruning over there. I prune back the fuchsia, taking it down a bit. And I've also been potting up some plants and planting some more. So I've just worked and worked and worked until I've got tired enough to go in and sleep. It's pretty good therapy, really. So I've potted up this lovely Scots pine, or it's a form of Scots pine. It's got some kind of a different name, I think. But anyway, I've potted that up, and that will stay in that pot until literally it's ready to plant out. And what else have I done? A little bird table. So I've been collecting up the leaves and also compost and putting it in along these beds, and you can see, look at that, where the birds have been down, literally digging holes in it looking for worms. And I've also piled up these beds as well with compost. So that'll give them a good start then next spring. And potting up some cyclamens. So I've got a little pot of cyclamen there. And then there's another pot. Oh, this is a little cordyline. I've potted that. Now this cordyline, you see how small it is? Just a baby one. That grows into those beautiful big palm trees over there. They're actually called cordylines. And if they're fed well, they grow really strong and really fast. And we've just got the right amount of temperature here in the west of Ireland for them. We don't get hard frosts usually, you know, continued hard frosts. And so that makes it a fairly good climate for growing stuff like this. And of course I just grow things on in pots until they're too big for the pot, and then I plant them out. There's another cordyline I've put into that pot. And this is a little bay tree that I've grown from a cutting. And this one here is a Serbian fir, which is actually quite a soft fir. So that's growing in a pot, and I'm hoping to bring that in for the midwinter and decorate it. I've cleaned up all around the New Zealand flax, so I've pulled out all the nasturtiums that had just gone over, you know, because it's cold. So they sort of melted. But there's lots of the seeds of the nasturtiums which are there, and I'm just going to leave them in situ, because that will ensure that next year there'll be lots more nasturtiums come up. And the sedums here are just staying where they are for the moment. I'm not going to cut them down or anything, because why would I? They look perfectly happy there. They may even go into sort of a dried plant. It depends very much on the weather. I even got some little oxeye daisies still struggling to flower. And that looks like a little caterpillar in there. Look, just a little caterpillar. Isn't it amazing? So the food for the birds continues. You know, the wild food. And I've been spreading wood ash as well, little bits of wood ash here and there. It's really good for the earth, good for the plants. And I'm not going to stay out too long because I don't have a scarf on and my neck's starting to get cold. The wind is blowing from the east, so that's pretty cold when it blows from the east. Sammy Burr's resting place is just up by the stone circle beside Beauty, so I'm not ready just to go up there yet. Not publicly. I've been up there privately, and grief is quite a private thing, really. It's well, maybe it's just a European thing, or maybe it's not so much European, but a British thing and an Irish thing as well. We're sort of quite private about showing too much emotion. I mean, I do. I actually get quite emotional at times, but I'd rather just have some kind of normality, which of course I seek through work. And I mean, all the little birds as well, they just bring so much happiness. And Jack brings so much happiness, and the sunshine brings happiness, and the day that's in it, and the comments that you leave, and the phone calls I get from my family, and, you know, and time. Time is a healer. Especially when you fill your time. And that's one thing that I'm locked into, is that ability to fill my time, because I very rarely just sit and do nothing. If I do sit down, I'm doing something, and sometimes I'm multitasking, like I'm listening to videos on YouTube. I don't really watch videos on YouTube, but I do like to listen to voices, and I like to listen to what people have to say. And all the leaves have come off the hazel tree now, so it's become very yellow. It was sort of red to start with and then brown, and now it's gone yellow. Incredible leaf fall. I've also washed some clothes, hung them out in the line up there. They've been blown about in the wind. That's more cordyline there. It's actually got massive, and I've never bothered to clean off the stems, because that was actually killed during the, there was a very hard winter in 2010, and a second one in 2011, and the cordyline was killed off completely. And then in 2012 it started to come back up again, and it came up in multi-stems. So I haven't cut back the leaves, because I think that might protect it more if there is another hard winter like that, which apparently we're going to have this year. They've been talking about it in meteorological circles now for quite some time. So I've got more of the greens coming up, the microgreens. That's for the compost. Look at the microgreens again. I mean, I don't know how many cuts there's been here on these. 4, possibly 5. And they're all coming up again. Look, pea shoots. What's this called? That lovely Japanese sort of lettuce. Beetroot. Brussels sprouts, all kinds of different lettuce, spinach. Amazing, isn't it? So that's it. A few more grapes left on here. I'll just leave those for the birds. So again, a massive thank you to everybody, and I've got a few videos to make that I've been promising for ages. One is a thank you video for all my lovely gifts, including this lovely hat that I'm wearing. Look. This was knitted for me. Now I've got all the names written down, all the people I have to thank. It's an absolutely gorgeous hat. I think I may end up being buried in this hat. This is one of those. So comfortable, it's like a second skin. So have a lovely day, everybody. And blessings to you all. From me and Jack, and Sammy Bear and Beauty, and all the energy that's around this place. Too many names to actually list off. Blessings to you all.